Good evening, it's Rob Yates here from TetraKey, and sorry for a second, I'm just having a momentary glimpse of something not working this evening, in as much as we were going to do, let's see if this works, an Instagram live this evening, but obviously I need to go and practice with it, so let's go and put that to one side and ignore it for the time being. So, good evening, welcome. I hope you've all had a fantastic first week of January. You've hit the ground running, you feel motivated, invigorated, and you're already making a difference in your goals, your ambitions and your dreams, and you've taken action. And that's the only thing I can ask from you, is just to have taken action. So welcome. My name's Rob Yates, I'm the CEO of TetraKey. And all I'd ask you to do this evening is a ticket to the game. To take part in these sessions just involves you pressing the share button and the like button. That's two things to do, like and share, so that more people can gain this information that we're giving this year. Tonight we're going to have a chat about the reality of success and what it actually can look like, feel like, measure like, and the difference in what the reality of success is based against what you're currently experiencing now. And we're not just talking about cash in the bank tonight, we're talking about the wider realities and how you can start preparing yourself for the reality of success now. Some things are physical that take time to achieve. Other things are mental. They take processing, they take thought. And so the mental aspect of preparing yourself for immense success is something you can practice and start doing straight away. And that's one less thing to be concerned about or thought about when you do go and reach that level of success. And good evening, Sophia. You're the first person to have joined us this evening. It's lovely to have you in these Facebook Live sessions. So these sessions, this is session number 4 of 260 for 2017 of free business and being the very best version of you, coaching ideas, thoughts, suggestions and tips and hints. Also getting an insight into what goes into mine and my business partners' heads, daily thoughts, daily discussions about us developing our 8 businesses and how we're busy fast-tracking goals right now. For those of you who haven't heard, we've set about achieving our 2020 goal by the end of 2017, and as of this evening, Friday evening on whatever day it is, the 6th of January, we've taken some massive steps already to achieving it, and I'm kind of middle of February now in my own timeline for achieving the 2020 goal in 2017. So we're going to do this. If we can't be live because we're away somewhere and we work all over the world, there'll be a video up at this time so you don't miss out. And that's some 2,600 minutes or 44 hours worth of content that we're going to give you this year. Our aim is to allow as many people as possible across the globe, in particular in the USA, Canada, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand and the United Kingdom, to get a massive insight into how they can go and take action to be more successful. And I'd encourage all of you to be leaders and to keep pressing share, keep pressing like, so that all the people in your Facebook groups, your Facebook friends, can come on board and they can have an opportunity to be successful just like you this year. Excuse me for waving the pen, I've made a whole lot of notes for tonight because it's something I feel really passionate about. So let's get started, shall we? I've got a bugbear, a thing that's been irritating me for ages, and I haven't been brave enough to get it off my chest, but tonight on this Facebook Live session I want to get it off my chest. All over social media the entire time there's adverts for get-rich-quick schemes. They're there. There's pictures, and the one that really gets me is the picture of the person sat by the pool with their laptop open or on the beach with their laptop open, selling this pseudo-dream lifestyle. And I'm going to tell you now that it's bullshit, and I'm calling bullshit on these adverts right here, right now. In fact, I would suspect if you got the 20 most successful people in the world together, whether it's through, the Dalai Lama or through somebody who's amazingly rich, or the 20 top coaches in the world, that they would all call bullshit as well. This isn't something I'm going to guess that I'm on my own in doing, but loads of people are out selling it. And the reason they're selling this nonsense is because we are silly enough to buy it. Just think about this for a second. I've got an image to show you actually on my phone. What's the problem with this image? Whoop. I don't know if you can see this image. What's the problem with this image? There's a guy in an expensive suit and tie lying in the salty sand, and he's got a MacBook Pro. That's about, that one there's a big one, that's about 25,000 rand, 2,000-ish dollars worth of computer right by the beach, and he's out there answering emails. Well, my question for you is, it's bullshit, isn't it? Because where's his Wi-Fi? He doesn't have any internet signal. He's got salt and sand going into his 25,000 rand or $2,000 computer. He's ruining his suit. And he's not enjoying the beach at all because he's busy going, work. It's just nonsense. And I want to call bullshit on this now. What I want to advocate is that there is no such thing as a get-rich-quick scheme. A get-rich-quick scheme is like a one-night stand. All that happens is you get a sexually transmitted disease and you have a really shitty rest of your life, or certainly a few months, trying to lose that horrible thing that you picked up in that one night stand. And this moment of quick gratification, and then there's a horror period. And interestingly, if you go and look at people who've got rich quick, 80% of them lose everything and are bankrupt within 24 months of getting rich quick. Is that what you really want? Personally speaking, I'd advocate we want something that's more similar to a solid marriage. It takes work, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes focus, it takes commitment. But a marriage that takes on all of those things, and you can think about yourself as a business owner and having your business that you're married to, it lasts forever. It's always there. I always have a trickle of cash coming in. Hi Jenny, thanks for writing a comment. Happy Friday to you too. 9 o'clock on a Friday night, I'm impressed. It's there, and we stand a very good chance of not being one of that 80% that lose all that money so quickly. So tonight I just want to talk about the reality of success, and it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not, for most people, a multi-level marketing thing that they sign up for. It takes about 1 in 2,000 people really make it with multi-level marketing things they sign up for. And even then, they don't make it into the millions and millions. They just make it up into 4 to 5 times what they're currently earning. And most people in multi-level marketing never ever earn enough to leave their full-time job or match their current income. So there's none of these things that are quick. It requires work, it requires effort, it requires focus. And I want to tell you a little story, because it's one a part of the reality of success. Now, a friend of mine has done the whole time, effort, consistency, sort of marriage, long-term building a business thing. And he achieved it. He achieved the big contract. In fact, he might even be watching this evening. I can't see. There's quite a few people in the newsfeed to my right here. But and he achieved it. He made a bucket load of money with that one big deal. You know, the one that you've been doing lots and lots of good deals, they've got quite big, and you've got that one that you go for, and it is huge. And we were talking millions of dollars, millions and millions and millions of dollars. Anyhow, so he had this level of success. Now, the beauty of the way in which he'd gone about achieving this level of success is that he'd made all his monetary and whatever else sort of business mistakes paying school fees, not university fees. He made the mistakes with small amounts, not with millions. But what happened? Well, suddenly he had a whole load more opportunity, but his world got smaller at exactly the same time. You see, you'd never believe what happens when you become successful, when you have millions and people know you've got millions, is everybody expects that you pay for all the drinks all of the time, guaranteed. And then everybody has the world's best business idea that they want you to back. Everybody. Even people come out of the woodwork from your class at school who you haven't seen those people for 10, 20, 30 years. They come out of the woodwork. Something happens. And what happens is your world gets smaller because you end up losing lots and lots and lots of friends. Lots of people want to give you financial advice. And the financial advice that you need for $100,000 is very, very, very different to what you need for 12, 13, 14, $15 million. So his life's got bigger, more opportunity with cash, but smaller at the same time in terms of the quantity of people who he can now have a relationship with who aren't going to try and rip him off. And that's not uncommon. You see, as you get more successful, you end up in a smaller and smaller and smaller part of the pyramid, closer to the top. There's less and less people, and your world becomes more isolated. It's very, very, very interesting, but and I want to go back to the laptop on the beach thing. You don't see Richard Branson with his MacBook out whilst kite surfing, or on his iPhone whilst kite surfing, or whatever else. And anyway, back to it. Your world gets more isolated. There's less people you can share things with, and you have to become much, much more internally resourceful. Some of the most successful people I've ever worked with call being social broke. The more time you spend socialising in the pub, in the bar, there's a very famous famous coach rather. There's a slip there who has a thing that he says the South African beer bribe broke model. And they don't spend all this time socialising, craving other people's attention, time, being the centre of the party. They actually are very internally resourceful. They're very used to spending lots of time on themselves and being quite introspective. If you go and think about the likes of and follow Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, people like that on Facebook, you'll see exactly what I mean. So here's the thing, the reality of success is that you end up spending a lot of time on your own, or a lot of time with people who aren't necessarily your very best friends. My own example for that is I fly to the US from South Africa to Seattle 5, 6, 7 times this year probably, as well as Australia and the UK twice. And my flight to Seattle is 26 hours each way on my own. Then when I get to Seattle I work with clients and I spend time on my own often. And you just need to get used to it because it's the reality of success. You can have amazing times with other people. Dedicated times with other people, but that's going to be the minority as opposed to the majority. So what 5 things can you start doing now to start getting yourself in the gear of being successful? What is it that those people do? Well, the first thing I'd like you to start doing is spending at least 60 minutes a day isolated on your own with no people around. No radio, no phone, no social media, no TV, just thinking and getting shit done. The reality is, I had a friend of a friend who met Mark Zuckerberg, he spends between 6 to 8 hours a day on his own. And that's not sleeping, that's just getting stuff done. That's thinking, that's building, that's strategizing. So that's something you can do and get used to it. Personally speaking, once every 2 months I go to a quiet hotel somewhere for 3 to 4 days, and I spend 3 to 4 days eating some food and in my hotel room just working 14 hours a day to get stuff done, so that when I come home I can spend time with my wife and daughter and be really, really present. And that's the next thing that we need to get better at and we can practice, is being 100% present, undistracted in every moment at everything that we are doing. So if we're going to be on the beach, leave the phone, leave the iPad, leave the laptop, somewhere secure, somewhere safe, at home, and enjoy the beach. Enjoy the noises, the tastes, the smells, the sounds, the warmth. Enjoy it to 100%. Don't water it down with the idea of work. And then when you're at work, be present at work. Don't get distracted by all the noise, all the other stuff going on. Be present and get stuff done. People often say the greatest present you can give somebody is your 100% undivided presence. And yet in today's age with mobile phones, social media, etc., that's something that's rarely experienced by other people. So how about you being the person who gives the best present in terms of you giving your presence? The next thing we can do is stop chasing get-rich-quick schemes. They don't exist, they don't work, and if you are one of the few who manage to make it work, the likelihood of you being bankrupt and losing all of that within 2 years sits at about 80%. Are those really odds that you want to play when you could go and build a solid structure and do something where you're genuinely solving somebody's problem, a problem that's complicated for them, you can solve it easily and charge them money for it? So that's the next one, stop chasing. My third one is focus. Focus, focus, focus. Focus on one thing, one business, one idea. Don't get distracted. If you need to do more than one business, well then block times out in your diary. Have a day of the week for this, a day of the week for that, and be rigid with it and focus. The difference for me this year and last year and the year before is simply my ability to hold myself accountable to focus. It's the way which I've launched 8 profitable businesses in 3 years, is simple focus. Not getting distracted by the, oh, shiny thing over there disease, because it is just that, a disease. And my last thing that I think everybody should do, whether you want to be any version of successful, is find a way to be grateful. I'm a big fan, and I do this every night in my little A5 book that's just here. Is every night I write 5 things down that I can be grateful for today. That expression of gratitude keeps me grounded, it keeps me positive, it keeps me realising that even on the shittiest of days, when you've lost the biggest contract, that there still is cool stuff. There still is great stuff that happens in your life. There still is wonderful opportunities. And I think that those 5 things that I've just mentioned are core to you taking a massive step forwards towards your success in 2017 and beyond. I just want to tell you a little bit, and at this point in time, of course, you can click like and share because that's the ticket to the game. So if you don't click like and share, don't come. Simple. It's about casting your shadow and passing high quality information on to other people. But next week, because today's Friday, so I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Next week's what's happening, what are we going to give you, what's coming up, what do you have to look forward to? Well, number one, on Monday or Tuesday next week, I expect to be launching our ebook online. You'll be able to get it free of charge from our Facebook page or on TetraKey Facebook page. It's called The Profitable You to Unstoppable Success. It's full of content, challenges, thoughts and activities to go and apply the knowledge into practice. So that's going to be available for you next week. All of my TetraKey coaches regularly get coached by myself or one of the other directors in the business, and on Tuesday evening we're meeting with some of the Johannesburg coaches to do one of their coaching sessions, and you're going to get to meet those 3 or 4, I think it's going to be on Tuesday evening, business coaches, and get their thoughts about what they think you should be doing, so that you get to hear from more than just me. We're also next week going to do a session on the 7 secrets of creating immense wealth. We're going to look around, which by the way is groundbreaking. You are going to love this. We're going to look at the principles of cause and effect and what they mean to you as a business owner, as a professional, as an executive, and how you can enable yourself to be in control far more often. And we're going to start to consider on another session some core things around customer retention. because it costs 7 times more to find a new customer than it does to keep an old customer trading with you. And so it's vitally important that we keep our current customers happy, satisfied, and repeatedly purchasing from us. So that's next week. It's going to be an exciting week. My diary next week is packed. I look forward to sharing that with you and introducing you to some of our coaches as well. And I wish you a wonderful weekend where you can start taking 60 minutes out a day, stopping chasing get-rich-quick schemes, focusing, being grateful, and being 100% present. My name's Rob Yates. I'm the CEO of TetraKey. It's been a pleasure to serve you this evening, and I look forward to spending more time with you at same time, same place on, well, for my time frame, Monday evening, but for other people, you can see in the Facebook page when we'll be around. Have a wonderful weekend and be awesome.